one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. This gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2 3. 1 2 3.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price.
You find yourself alone, riding in green fields with the sun on your face. Do not be troubled. Brothers, what we do in life echoes in eternity.
I'm coming. I promise you, on my life, I'm coming. From the first snap, man. From the first second. What are we gonna do, man? All back against the wall. All back is against the wall.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. The funniest shit I done heard all week. Easily the funniest shit I done heard all week. Now, granted, it is only Wednesday. I am recording this at 3:30 in the morning, East Coast time. So, you know, a lot of week left. If we fortunate enough to live through the rest of the week. I didn't mean to get so dark and grim right there. Ignore that. Listen, when I heard Draymond talk about he was contemplating retirement, I was in tears. You don't understand. My boy Draymond basically said, if I can't walk around hitting dudes, and it would just sound so much better if I used the N-word, but I'm going to try not to use it. Even though it's not like we use that word all the time on the show, it's not like we use it every episode. So the times that I do use it, I really don't be wanting to hear nobody bitch and complain about it, because it's not like every episode I'm just throwing the N-word around left and right. Not to mention, you got to show the boy some love, because I use the N-word in my everyday life. Dead ass serious. I use it all the time. So the fact that I don't use it as much on the show, if ever, on most of the episodes, really got to give myself a pat on the ass, you know? Anyways, the boy had a dream, but it was more like, yo, Carter done switched it up, bro. I can't remember what he said today. Me and Carter was at work today, and he was like, Carter, by the way, bro, if you listen to this, I said no pickles on that fucking sandwich, man. And I'm not bitching about the pickles, bro, because you know I love you either way. But the shit did have pickles. And that spicy mayonnaise that was on it, I'm never gonna put that shit on there again. It's not even that it was like super spicy. I don't even know how to judge spice level at this point, bro, because don't nothing really be spicy to me. Like the spiciest thing I can remember, the hottest or spiciest shit that I done ate recent. Like if you put a whole bunch of red chili flakes in something, I'm talking about put a whole bunch of them bitches into something. That could do it to me. But I got a real high spice tolerance, bro. Now maybe I just haven't eaten the right shit, but I feel like I got a high spice tolerance because I was eating what do you call that shit? At Buffalo Wild Wings, the hottest wing that they have, I can't remember what it's called. They might have a new hottest wing now. But the hottest wing they have, me and my brothers would always go to Buffalo Wild Wings at some point in time throughout the year. And we'd always order like a 10-piece of the hottest wing they have. And we all would eat one. And whoever ate the most out of those 10 wings, we usually had, it was 10 wings. Sometimes we get more. Whoever ate the most out of those wings usually won something. I can't, if it was money, a beer, all types of things. But I don't even know what made me get into the spice conversation, but listen, when I saw Draymond basically, you know, they taking away what he loved to do the most, hit motherfuckers, choke motherfuckers out. They basically telling my boy, you can't be an enforcer no more. The enforcing days is over. Find a new one. I don't think this right. Listen, I already done had my piece on Draymond telling y'all that yes, he was wrong, yada, yada, yada. But don't think that y'all finna get that too many more times, bro. Straight up. That's not gonna happen too many more times where I'm gonna get on here and go at my boy Draymond. Also, shout out to Rashad McCants. Yo, we got a new rule on the channel, bro. No ill words will be spoken about Rashad McCants, bro. We not speaking negative on none of his basketball career. We not speaking negative on nothing stupid that he say. He might say some stupid shit. We gonna ignore it as if he didn't even say it. Because after I heard that man talk about Kobe the way he talked about Kobe, bro, I got nothing but love for Rashad McCants, bro. I got nothing, because he loved Kobe damn near the way I love Kobe, bro. Like, if you don't know, you might be new to the channel or whatever. You might just be here for the football portion. You might not have checked out none of the shows this year. You might not have seen any of the shows on the channel. That's all right. I hope you're here to stay, though. You know, and I appreciate you for being here. But Kobe is my favorite athlete. It's nothing that nobody gonna say about Kobe Bryant is gonna sway that. The way I done become when it come to Kobe, I don't even listen to anything anybody have to say that's negative about Kobe. Like, nothing that you can say about Kobe will translate if it's not a positive thought. And after his passing, because I ain't never cried about somebody who I never met. Well, shit, I don't cry anyways, but I still vividly remember the day Kobe passed. I remember that entire day as if I done lived it 1 billion times. I remember my ex at well, she wasn't even my ex. She was, I was talking to this one, sometimes I be on the channel talking to y'all and I be wanting to be respectful to women. I don't be wanting to call them chicks and shit. So when I get caught up in some words and shit, just know that's my mind processing. But the female who I was dealing with, and I know they hate being called females too. So you see, it's just a tricky situation. The woman who I was dealing with, because if I call her a girl, they'll be like, oh, so she can't be a woman. You know, it's a tricky situation. Anyways, the woman who it would be easier if I just threw the names out here, but I'm not throwing people's names out left and right. Because when we blow up one day, I don't want no person who I don't fuck. Because I tell y'all stories all the time, right? Or when I tell y'all stories, some of the people in the story I don't like now, or I don't fuck with now. So I don't want them being able to be blown up one day because I told a story about them. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want nobody to be like, yo, that story he talking about is about me. And then people start getting popular off. I don't want that to happen, bro. Nobody is about to get secondhand rich off of me or secondhand popular off of me when we blow up, bro. It's not in that way. And like with people who I don't deal with. Anyways, what were we talking about? We talked about the new Rashad McCants rule on the channel. Talked about my boy Dre. What the fuck was I just talking about, fam? I remember what we were talking about. Something that I try to keep my mind away from. The Kobe Bryant passing. I remember that day like it was yesterday. Like I said, like I done lived that day 1 billion times, bro. I I remember the person who sent me the message, I remember the people who called me that day. I remember just being numb. I remember crying all day, bro. Like not even being able to control it. I couldn't believe it. I kept saying to myself that all day I remember saying to myself, like, why? Like, why is it Kobe? Why did it have to be Kobe? I can't even remember the last time somebody passed away and I thought that to myself. And yes, I can, because my brother died last year. So that was the most recent one. But bro, when I lost, and ain't that so crazy? I always thought to myself when I lost Kobe, because I love this man so much, bro. You don't even, the quotes, watching his highlights every day, just the shoes, when Kobe passed, I got rid of every single thing that I had. See, most people went the other way. They kept all their Kobe stuff and whatnot, bumped the prices up on all the Kobe. I didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to think about it. I didn't want to, because it just made me cry. I got rid of anything that was related to Kobe Bryant that I had in my possession. I got rid of like 20 pair of Kobe shoes, bro. I'm being dead ass serious. Some of them I just gave away for free. I should have gave every single pair of them away for free, because the ones that I sold and got hold on for like the pricing at that time because of what my mental was in, I got rid of the jackets, the coats, the hoodies, the pants, the sweats, the joggers, anything that was related to Kobe, I got rid of. The only two things that I kept was the 2 pair of shorts that I had. That was like, I got them shits when I was in like middle school or like high school, and they was like Kobe's Black Mamba printed shorts, which is in terrible, both of them is in terrible condition now. I wear both of them as basically draws, but I got rid of everything because I could not believe and then when I go back and I see like posts and I see like other athletes' reactions and stuff, bro, I quickly change it. And I wish that I could deal with that a little bit better, man. But what Kobe meant to me, bro, it's hard for me to watch anybody talk about Kobe, bro. It really is. It's hard for me to see people go back. Like I was on TikTok the other day, and they were showing like all the replays of how people was reacting when we found out Kobe died. And man, that shit immediately took me to I just couldn't do it. I had to hurry up and change it because I didn't want to cry. I could feel the tears coming. I'm like, nah, I don't want to feel like this again. And I changed the video and I'm still feeling it. So, shout out to Kobe, man. I love Kobe Bryant to death. Shout out to Rashad McCants. There is no Rashad McCants slander on the channel, bro, from this day forward. Dead ass serious. That is a rule on the channel. No Rashad McCants trash talk, bro. We love Rashad McCants over here now. Dead ass serious, bro. After I heard him say what he said about Kobe, bro, my heart was crying. I'm like, bro, I'm so happy that somebody got Kobe's back like this, bro. And I know it's a lot of people who got Kobe's back, but I like Rashad McCants. I am a bit irritated with how people talk about Kobe and this. What's crazy? It's not just football where they addicted to stats, and stats do they matter in a sense. When you go into the Hall of Fame and things like that, stats 100% matter, I guess. But I just really wish people would watch these games. I really do. I got to watch Kobe Bryant my entire life. He was my first favorite athlete. When he retired, my love for basketball severely diminished. Like, I have never loved basketball the way I loved it when Kobe played. I mean, all my homies in high school, middle school, if you ask them who my favorite athlete was, they're not going to say Lamar. Obviously, Lamar wasn't playing at the time. They're not going to say Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Terrell Sutton. They're going to say Kobe Bryant. They're going to say the motherfucker loved Kobe Bryant. I'm telling you that. Just know there will be no Rashad McCants slander on the channel, bro. Now, some people might not even know who the fuck that is. I'm just telling you right now, when you do know who he is, no slander. Because, these numbers and these stat numbers and whatnot, this is why I say I really wish people could just watch, man. Because we don't do too much LeBron James GOAT talk on the channel unless I'm irritated about something somebody said. But, the reason I try to stay out of that conversation, man, is because I don't like how dismissive people are when you don't put LeBron James as the GOAT or the second best all time. So I just tend to not want to talk about it, not because I care about people's reactions and whatnot, just because of how tiring some of the reactions are, bro. Like, fans have a way of being so disrespectful and so mean. Matter of fact, disrespectful, screw the disrespect. To be mean for no fucking reason. And the vileness, bro. Like, it's just what people will do and say about other human beings. I don't know, man. I was on Twitter the other day. And who was it? It was an athlete who didn't agree with something. And somebody was commenting under their shit. And they was laughing at the dude's dad being dead. And I was like, how in God's name did this... How did the results of this game bring you to this? And so when I see some people talk crazy, like LeBron stands, in my opinion, I done come to the conclusion. LeBron stands is the worst fan base on God's green earth. I've never seen a fan base that is worse. Do I love Steph Curry stands? No. I don't really love stands of no kind. LeBron stands got to be some of the most ignorant, disrespectful, moronic motherfuckers I done ever heard from, met in my life. Some of the shit they say, man. But I'm not even going to get into it. I was finna start getting into a whole Kobe, LeBron and type debate that Rashad McCants got into. But I'm not going to lie to y'all, man. My soul ain't in the mood to do it. But I will say this. I do not believe that LeBron James would have won a championship with those two teams Kobe won with. And before I do hop off of this topic, one of the things that really pissing me, that really just irritates me, pisses me off with the media, Stephen A. Smith saying Kobe had Shaq. Fam, he won 2 rings without Shaq. He was the best player in the league when Shaq wasn't on his team. Not to mention, if it was just about Shaq, why do Shaq not got 5 rings? I don't ever hear nobody say Shaq had Kobe. Did you see Kobe's numbers since y'all love stats so much? And on top of that, if you think Shaq would have won those titles in LA without Kobe, you're drunk. I don't understand why we have this one-sided conversation as if Kobe needed Shaq and Shaq didn't need Kobe. To me, that's insane. But on top of that, bro, LeBron had D Wade, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, Ray Allen. And I'm not even going to get into all the great role players that done played with LeBron throughout the years. And for some reason, the people in the media sit around as if none of that happened. As if LeBron James won all those championships on teams with just LeBron James. I'll never understand how they decide to rewrite history. I'll never understand why they decided for some people the stats mean everything, for others it don't. Because if we're using stats to say somebody the GOAT, why Wilt Chamberlain not the GOAT? To me, this argument of, sometimes we use this something. That's why I don't like the Dak Prescott argument. Because you're only using stats. And not only are you using his stats, you're using his stats without context. You are not going to bring up all them bad teams that Dak Prescott done played this year. You won't do it if you're trying to defend Dak. You will not try to say, if somebody asks you, okay, what's his stats against great teams? You're going to try to avoid the conversation. And that's my problem. When we talk about Lamar, we don't avoid his stat conversation. People are like, oh, he don't got the stats. Well, look at all the other people on it. We don't got an 1,000-yard rush. We ain't got an 1,000-yard receiver. Zay Flowers damn near had 1,000. The running back who, listen, I know a lot of Raven fans love Gus Edwards. The man got so many touchdowns in the red zone because Lamar Jackson decided, yeah, you could have it. We don't avoid a conversation when it comes to his stats. That's where the conversation stops and ends with Dak Prescott. And I'm at this point, because I'm going to be honest with y'all, it's kind of insane to me that people still think Dak is the MVP. I'm not going to lie. When you look at all the big games he done lost this year, when you look at the fact that Lamar done won every single big game he done had to play this year, when you come to the conclusion that nobody expected Lamar Jackson and the Ravens to win those games this year, when you come to the conclusion how bad Dak done played in those big games this year, I really don't understand how you could think Dak Prescott is, and maybe this is good for football and for sports, so y'all can stop relying so heavily on stats. Because I understand a lot of y'all don't watch the games. You don't understand what you're watching. The only thing that you can understand is numbers that's sitting there in front of you. And even at this point, you don't understand them because you look at them without context. The fact of the matter is the stats was put there just to track the game, not for you to only look at those shits and not the game. At some point in time, you have to become familiar with the flow of the game, how a game is going. That's why I don't get mad too much when athletes tell you who they think the best player is, because they don't care about stats. They actually have to play against these guys, these men and women. They discussing the game from a whole different perspective. It's one of the reasons, like, I saw a question the other day where somebody was like, who was better in their prime, Giannis or KD? And a lot of people were saying Giannis, and to me that's insane, because just on the offensive side of the ball, Giannis ain't Kevin Durant. He nowhere near Kevin Durant offensively. Giannis's offensive game is so lacking compared to a Kevin Durant. It almost don't matter how good Giannis is defensively because how lacking. And the biggest problem, you ask me what do I think prime KD is, I'm going to always tell you I think the Warriors KD is the prime KD. He played defense and was offense and played offense. I just don't think prime Giannis is touching a prime Kevin Durant. But you have to have been there to see it. You have to have watched those games. If you just look at the stats, you'll say, oh, of course Giannis is the better one because he got so many stats in so many different areas. That's what the LeBron James conversation is right now. And if you play the game for a certain amount of time, of course you'll accumulate a number of stats. But who the fuck cares about stats when the main goal was to win a championship? That was always what Kobe was talking about. I don't care about stats. I care about winning rings. The stats that I get along the way, that's fine, but I want a ring. All the greats wanted a ring. They didn't give a fuck about no stats until they knew they couldn't win no more. And even then, most of them just got out the game. So, you know, it's really disappointing, I think, because I really think people missing out on great football, great sports, great basketball. And I just think the conversation around sports right now is so, it's pathetic, to be completely honest with you. It's sad because if you watch these, okay, so an example. I don't think J.J. McCarthy is a great quarterback. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. I think he could probably be a decent game manager for somebody, maybe be like a Brock Purdy if he in a super system or something. But instead of, I really don't want to kill J.J. McCarthy, bro. I'd rather use somebody else. Matter of fact, I'm not going to kill nobody. I'm not going to kill nobody to make this point. I just really wish that the analysts and fans would sit down and watch the games. The one of the bigger problems is actually the fans, because the media is allowed to do what they do and say what they say and not watch the shit that they need to watch because they know the fans don't. A Carolina Panther fan not going to sit down and watch a Baltimore Raven game. A Chicago Bears fan is not going to just randomly sit down and watch the Cincinnati Bengals play. Yeah, if these games is on prime time, they might watch them, but more times than not, you're not watching a team that's not playing against your team or that's not your team. So it's hard for you to even understand, or a Dallas Cowboy fan probably haven't watched a single game that Lamar Jackson done played this year. So they're going to keep getting on Twitter saying it's insane to me that Dak can put up these type of stats. Even though they don't watch every Dak game, they know he don't play good and have not beat no good team. But they'll still get on TV. Get on Twitter or on whatever social media they can get on and use a stat conversation. Because they don't watch Lamar Jackson. They don't watch the full Baltimore Raven games. They went to the stat page and read off some stats. I just think that's sad. And it's killing the game. And I really hate that nobody on TV is really pushing watch the games. Watch the games. Watch the games. Like Dan Orlovsky done started basically pushing that, but it's a lot of great football, man. A lot of great sports out there that y'all not. And we talking about football right now, but you know, it's like I said a couple weeks ago. If you're not watching Lamar Jackson, man, if you're not watching some of these quarterbacks, bro, you really missing out. You know, watching the stats, watching the highlights, it's not going to do the justice that it's supposed to. It's not. It's not. And if you're a Dak Prescott stan who just keep yelling stats, listen, I'm not going to keep arguing with you. I'm not going to keep fussing with you. I just would really implore you to watch other teams besides the Dallas Cowboys. Because I actually think this year is as clear a year as an MVP has ever had. But see, most people think that the clear years is when you got the crazy stats. Let me tell you something about Dak. If Dak had beaten any of them great teams, really two of them, because nobody holds that Eagles win in high favor anymore. If Dak had played competent in all them top games against those top teams and won at least two of them, he would be the MVP. You want to know what the problem is? The people who vote, they actually seem to watch some of these games. Even though I don't even think they watch all the games. And you know what they starting to realize? Dak Prescott don't do this shit against the great teams. But when you get to play against the Giants twice, the Commanders twice, you get to play against the NFC South, you get to play against the Bears, the Vikings. I expect Dak to put up these type of stats. But you want to know what I find very funny? Next year, if the Vikings, if the Bears, if any of them teams I just named that we know are bad this year, let's say all of them teams become superb next year, like top tier teams, I guarantee you Dak won't beat them. And you'll look and say, hey, it's the same team he just smashed last year. Yeah, but they were connected to being trash last year. This year they're not. So that's Dak's kryptonite. But, you know, I'm not here to kill Dak Prescott. We'll talk more Dak Prescott throughout the week. But we are here to talk about playoff Flacco. He is back. Yo, I made some I made some steak and rice tonight, and I ain't had no butter. So at first I wasn't going to make it because I'm like, man, you got to have butter. Funny enough, I actually did not. What I made tonight tastes better than it tasted when I used the butter, bro. It's crazy. So I use lemonade as, I don't know if you would call it an extract. I don't like using lemon juice because sometimes lemon juices is too sour, and I don't like the tang that it give my the meat on my for my food. Pause. So sometimes I use a sweeter lemon flavor. Really what you need, in my opinion, to give your thing a beautiful, it don't make sense, but the beautiful taste that it give me, that I get from it sometimes. It's not it's not too sweet. It's not just complete savoriness with no what do you call it? With no details. You know, the details in the food is the seasonings, the thing, and how it's prepared and whatnot, you know? And so I used lemonade tonight, Milo's lemonade, something I got from Dollar General. Now, on its own, hate it. I do not like the taste of this lemonade, in a sense that maybe it's because I'm addicted to that Turkey Hill lemonade at the moment. But I wouldn't have used the Turkey Hill lemonade because that's a darker yellow than the Milo's lemonade, which is weird because usually when I see lemonades that's damn near a clearish color, those be the best ones because they be sweet, and the darker ones be kind of tangier, and I don't really like tangy lemonade. I don't like tart lemonade. I don't like sour lemonade. I would prefer a sweet lemonade. That's why I probably don't drink Country Time that much. But when you put a lot of sugar in Country Time, not to where it tastes like, you can't put too much sugar where it knock off where it fuck up the texture of the drink. You know, I don't want the drink to taste like I'm drinking a thick syrup or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But I use this lemonade along with some soy sauce and all the other seasons that I use. We used all those things in the rice and chicken tonight. I mean, rice and steak. Shit tastes better than it tasted last night. Did not use a lick of butter. Oh, you know what? I had one pack of the Golden Corral honey butter laying around, like one little thing of it. So we used that little thing, and that's it. We just used lemonade and soy sauce, and obviously a lot of different seasonings. But you use more seasonings for the steak than the rice, but you do use a couple seasonings for the rice. You know, garlic powder, minced garlic, onion, diced onions, chives, When you cooking it on the skillet, you throw a lot of the chopped onions in there to extract the flavors from the onions. I don't eat mushrooms. I know some people put corn. I love corn. You throw the corn in there. I'm gonna tell you what's funny. I went to a Chinese restaurant a couple days ago, and I wanted the house rice, the house fried rice. But I had just got some fried rice from another Chinese spot like 3 days before, and that shit was disgusting. Like, it was so nasty that I'm never going to eat at that Chinese spot ever again, more than likely. I'm going to be honest, though. The Chinese spot that I ate at after that, I do like that Chinese spot, but I don't like they fried chicken, coincidentally. Like, they fried chicken could have been way better than me. Like, their fried chicken did not taste better than the fried chicken from this other Chinese spot that I go to. So, it was very weird. Either way, I went there for the house special fried rice. And I asked him, I say, yo, y'all put corn in this? And I think he was thinking that I was saying like, yo, don't put no corn in my shit. And he was like, no, we don't put corn. I said, but can you put corn in that shit? He said, yes. I said, hey, put some corn in my shit. He was like, oh, so you want corn? I said, yeah, I want corn in my shit. He said, oh, yeah. It come with corn most of the time then. And I'm thinking to myself, the fuck you just lied to me for? But then I realized that as I was walking out, he wasn't technically lying. He was trying to appease his customer. All right. He wanted me to buy that rice, and he was going to tell me whatever I didn't want to be in it wasn't going to be in it. Whatever I wanted to be in it was going to be in it. He just a Chinese, so he didn't understand it completely. It's not that he didn't understand me. He didn't understand what I was. You know how sometimes a Chinese man can talk to a Chinese man and they can understand what each other is thinking or saying or about to say, or the thought process, because culturally, an American would have understood my thought process right there more so than, and I'm not telling you that no Chinese individual couldn't have understood it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he did not understand it, and I understood why he didn't. Anyways, playoff Joe Flacco. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, hold up. I need to take a sip of my apple juice. Because I've been staring at this shit for like 22 minutes. Bro, I love apple juice. I fucking love apple juice. The only apple juice that I really ain't a fan of, and it's kind of crazy because for Christmas I had some apple juice that this Great Value apple juice that come out of Dollar General, and it come out of Food Line. I think it come out of Food Line. I know it definitely come out of I don't remember if it's exactly called Great Value, but I think it was a Great Value apple juice. That shit was good as hell, son. See, my thing is I never buy off-brand shit. Or not off-brand, store brand. I never buy the store brand of like juices and things. Like if it's got a taste that I want to know, like if it's got a taste and I'm a certain type of taste that I'm expecting, I'm not going to buy the off brand because I know the taste going to be off. I'm not going to buy a store brand cereal. Like if I want Waffle Crisp cereal, I'm going to buy the name brand Waffle Crisp cereal because that's going to taste a certain way. If I buy the store brand, that shit going to taste good possibly, but it's not going to taste the way I need it to taste. Also, when they make those big bags of the small box, them shits do not taste the same to me either. I had a big bag of so my favorite cereal used to be Lucky Charms. Now I know some people might be like, yo, why in God's name would that be your favorite cereal, bruh? Them nasty marshmallows and some oat cereals. I don't know. I have always loved Lucky Charms. Since I was a child, my favorite cereal was Lucky Charms. As a grown ass man, before I stopped eating cereal, my favorite cereal was Lucky Charms. What made me stop eating cereal altogether was when I ate like I had 2 family-sized boxes in a bag of Lucky Charms. All of them was disgusting. None of them tasted like the Lucky Charms that I usually eat. And so I thought to myself, shit, maybe I'm growing out of, cereal. And I didn't eat cereal for like another 6 years after that. But now, last year, at the end of the year, I started eating cereal again. And I was crushing them boxes of French Toast Crunch, bro. You know how they got the Cinnamon Toast Crunch? They got French Toast Crunch. They got Graham Cracker Crunch too, and I should have known my weird ass sister was going to buy them nasty shits. And as expected, she didn't like them. Listen, I'm not a graham cracker fan, so anything that's like a graham cracker flavor or a s'mores flavor, I'm not going to eat or buy because I know I don't like that taste, period. I don't care what brand it is, off brand, on brand, store brand, not going to buy nothing that tastes like graham crackers. French Toast Crunch, however, unreal. Unreal. I'm probably going to go buy some waffle crisp tomorrow, too. I ain't going to lie. I'm probably going to go buy some waffle crisp and some French Toast Crunch. I don't like Cinnamon Toast Crunch no more either. I just can't finish bowls of them no more. I don't know what it is. I also think the churros is just too big a cereal. And those new Star Block Fruity Pebbles, they like Fruity Rocks or some shit like that, shaped like stars and shit. Yeah, the crunch on them shits remind me of like the Wick cereal that I used to eat growing up. Because we used to eat Wick cereal too growing up. My mom used to make us eat them nasty ass Kicks. And it was like a Castle King something, King Vitamin, I think cereal it was called. That'd be crazy if them shits was really called King Vitamin, bro. And I actually think that's what them shits was called. I'm about to look that shit up, bro. Y'all got to give me a minute. Because I did not think that name was going to pop up in my head that clean. But I think that is the name of the cereal, bro, and I want to see it now. King Vitamin. Oh, it might not have been named that. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yep, this nasty ass King Vitamin cereal, bro, by Quaker. I hated them shits, man. Oh my God, I hated them shits. My mama used to buy these shits all the time, bro. And that's what them new Fruity Pebbles remind me of. These King Vitamins, bro. King Vitamin was the nastiest goddamn cereal I ate growing up. I hated them shits, man. I used to hate that my mama bought them shits, bro. And then when my mama graduated from the nasty ass King Vitamin, bro, she ended up making us get them nasty ass, what do you call them shits, bro? Jesus Christ, what is them Jones called? I'm looking at a box of Kicks. Oh my God, I done ate so many King Vitamins growing up. Just looking at these shits pisses me off, bro. I hate King Vitamin. What is the name of them cereals? Oh, the Golden Puff shits, bro, with the frog on the front. I hate them shits too, bro. They taste like coffee or something. Like, not even coffee, bro. I can't even explain it, bro. But I don't like them shits either. But we're here to talk about playoff Joe Flacco. We're here to talk about this matchup between the Houston Texans and the Cleveland Browns. This is an interesting matchup because, boy, if you ain't seen Joe Flacco in the playoffs, boy. Now, am I telling you he done been perfect in the playoffs? Absolutely not. He done had a stinker here and there, but for the most part, Joe Flacco is a game changer in the playoffs. He played good enough to win games in the playoffs. He played good enough to win games they done lost in the playoffs. So this will be an interesting game for the Houston Texans. Here's my thing for the Texans, and I love C.J. Stroud, and I like the Texans. I don't think the Texans' health could really fuck them up because the defense for the Cleveland Browns is different. However, I think the biggest problem in this game will not be my expectation for C.J. Stroud in this game is not high. Because I know a lot of people are coming to this game and they'll probably pick the Browns because of the defense. But there will be a lot of people who take the Texans in this game. And I just can't be one of them. I done seen Flacco in the playoffs. I like the Cleveland Browns defense. I like Kevin Stefanski. And while I don't look at Cleveland as a juggernaut, I do think Cleveland is a better team. You know what's very interesting to me? What do you do if you're Cleveland? Like, all of this stuff that's happening right now, it's cool, it's cute, and it's you know, helping us ignore the fact that Deshaun Watson has not played this good for this team since coming to this team. Deshaun Watson is expected to be the starter for this team next year. What do you do? If Joe Flacco go win a Super Bowl, what do you do as a Cleveland Brown? Let's just the hypothetical. Joe Flacco in the he lead the Cleveland Browns to a Super Bowl, his second Super Bowl in his career. he definitely hitting the Hall of Fame if that happened. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I don't know how you keep him out of the Hall of Fame if he go out there and do what he's doing this year and go win it. So that'd just be unprecedented that'd be crazy. But just say he do that. What do you do? Because Joe Flacco, what, 38? You really want to give a long-term contract to a 38-year-old? On top of that, Joe Flacco in the playoffs is not Joe Flacco in the regular season. On top of that, what would you do with Deshaun Watson? Now, it would be a market out there for a Deshaun Watson trade again. But boy, I remember we had that Deshaun Watson video earlier in the year where I was like, I don't know if Deshaun get back to the Deshaun Watson that he once was. Because I don't think people really doing the real time, the math on how many games this motherfucker done missed. Deshaun Watson done damn near missed 2.5 years of full football if you include all the injuries he done suffered since coming back, the games he done missed since coming back, the 2 years he missed before. I mean, he done missed basically 3 years worth of football games. And we expecting him to get back to the Deshaun Watson that was playing every day? I don't know, man. And I understand that's not a situation that nobody want to talk about right now when it comes to Deshaun Watson and the Browns. But that is a real conversation that's going to have be had, because what do you do? Like, this is not as simple as, oh, well, if we win a Super Bowl, we just keep flat. It's not that simple. Mind you, Joe is a real one, bro. Joe not finna go out there and win no fucking Super Bowl for the Cleveland Browns, bro. He a Raven for life. He not ridiculous, bro. All right? He's not crazy. He's not crazy. People are crazy. He's not crazy. But it do bring up a hell of a conversation. Now, as much as I like Cleveland's defense, I do believe that I'm not telling you Nico Collins gonna have a game that he had last week, because this defense is better than the Colts defense. However, the Colts defense played a good game. I don't think the Colts defense was terrible. I think the offense was. Will the offense be that bad this week? And you in Cleveland? Now, you was in Indy, and CJ Stroud said that was the loudest crowd he done played in was Indy. But you playing against a Cleveland crowd that ain't been to the playoffs in how long? How many years? Since that Baker year? You playing against a Cleveland team that's not normally in the playoffs? You playing against a Cleveland team that's riding high right now off of the Joe Flacco and Kevin Stefanski type the action that's happening right now. So I do think this is a completely different atmosphere. Completely, like, it's playoff football, obviously. Yes, we know. But what I'm saying is, how I said that this would be the year for Lamar, Pat Mahomes to go get to get one or get another Super Bowl, because I do think it's a weaker conference right now as far as Joe hurt, some of these other teams not playing up to par the way I think. And then it really is not even the teams being bad. It's the fact that there's no superstar quarterback on the other side of the ball. So I'm always going to have more faith in Allen, Jackson, Mahomes. But when I look at this Cleveland team, Joe Flacco, to me, while you might not think of him as a game changer, in the playoffs he is. In the playoffs, I think of him just as highly as I think of Pat Mahomes, Lamar, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. I know that sound crazy. Look at what Joe Flacco done been able to do going on the road in Baltimore. I mean, going on the road when he was with the Ravens, winning games, putting up big numbers. He had one of the greatest playoff runs I've ever seen. I'm be completely honest with you. Joe Flacco is one of the best quarterbacks in the playoffs I done seen since I done been alive watching football. I'm trying to think of the best quarterbacks in the playoffs. Brady is obviously number one. I think I would take Joe Flacco over Peyton Manning in the playoffs. And I love Peyton, but what Joe Flacco did in some of these games, you just had to see. Now, I know some people are like, man, that's an asinine comment, but you just had to see the games, bro. I watched us lose a game where Lee Evans dropped a fucking touchdown, and then Billy Cundiff came in and missed the game tying fucking field goal. What the fuck else was Joe Flacco supposed to do? I saw as Joe Flacco give us a 14-point lead 2 times in New England, and the defense still blew the game. And New England was allowed to do a bunch of bullshit with not reporting eligible, people not reporting eligible and shit, just cheating and shit. I don't like that the dynasty of the Patriots got a lot of cheating scandals woven throughout the fabric of the team. But nonetheless, I'm not here to rehash and reopen old wounds. I don't care about that. Them days is past, even though we should be 2-time Super Bowl champions with Joe Flacco. That's neither here nor there. Fuck New England for life. Anyways, I do think if the Texans is not careful, I'm not taking the Texans to win this game anyways, because I don't think the Texans are the better team in this matchup. I actually think because a lot of people might not go into this game realistic. Like, if you watch the last Texans game, which I'm imagining a lot of America did, you might be coming into this game thinking, oh, the same Texans team gonna show up. But this ain't the Colts, baby. This is not the Colts. This is a better team, a better offense, better coach, better players. This will be a completely different team. Now, I don't know if CJ Stroud is ready to go on, because in order for him to get to a Super Bowl, he's going to have to win 3 AFC games on the road. This one, the next one, and the championship round, and then go to the Super Bowl. Now, if he do all that, shout out to him. But it's very hard for me to see them going into Kansas City, going into Baltimore, going into Buffalo, and winning those 3 games specifically. That'll be as tall a task as you can ask a rookie to do. Like, Joe Flacco had to beat Andrew Luck in Baltimore, go to Denver and beat Peyton Manning, Champ Bailey and all them dudes. Champ Bailey had a rough day that day in Denver. And then go to New England, Foxborough, and beat Tom Brady. And after that, head to the Super Bowl and beat Kaepernick, Patrick Willis, and that stud defense. Oh, and by the way, the head coach on the other side of the field would so happen to be your brother, Jim Harbaugh. So, and shout out to Jim Harbaugh on winning that natty with Michigan. Once again, I like to say that college football is a joke. I'm glad that the title game was competitive for as long as it was before Michigan put their foot on the gas. But I'm be honest with y'all, I don't think Michael Penix or J.J. McCarthy is going to be superstars on the next. One of my biggest problems with this quarterback draft class is how old some of these quarterbacks is. Like, Penix is like 25. Bo Nix, I think, is 24. Bro, you going to college at 18. That's all I'm saying. Like, these some old dudes, man. Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is 22. Now, I could be getting some of these ages wrong. And if I am, ignore the entire part. But I don't think I done got none of them ages wrong. I should have wrote them down again. It's not that I never looked at their ages. I done looked up their ages multiple times. I should have rewrote it down to remember it definitively. But either way, I'm not really sold on none of the quarterbacks and that's coming into the draft this year. But shout out to Jim Harbaugh. I saw somebody say, now, did they win that because of the cheating scandal? Because they was watching films and taking plays from other people, like knowing people play. Hey, who knows, man? I do know if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, baby. But listen, I say that and I hate cheating. Like, I hate cheating when it's done to me. Nah, I don't like cheating when it's done to nobody. I don't like cheating on no way, shape. But I do love saying, if you ain't cheating, baby, you ain't trying. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I love that phrase. However, I do think this will be a tougher game for. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this could end up. I really don't want to say this, but man, every time I get that feeling, y'all, the feeling usually turn out to be pretty accurate. I think this could be a tough game for the Texans. Unless Joe Flacco just come out there and just throwing picks left and right, See, I'm working from the perspective of not the Joe Flacco that's basically thrown like 10 interceptions, 8 interceptions over the last 3-4 games. I'm thinking of the Joe Flacco that shows up in the playoffs. And he in Cleveland, a place that he didn't play great in, even before he was a Cleveland Brown. It's just very hard for me not to see Cleveland being able to take this game at home. Wait a minute. Is this at home for Cleveland? Hold up. How is this at home for Cleveland and the Texans won the fucking division? Hold up. Yes, I was wrong. This game is in Houston. I'm glad I just thought about that because I'm like, wait a minute, bro. Cleveland didn't win the division and Houston did. This is no fucking way that this is in Cleveland. Yes, I was right. This is not in Cleveland. This game will be in Houston like I thought. Now, that changes everything. I don't think that Houston going to win this game still, but I do believe this is a far different game now because you play this in Cleveland. Now you have the home field. Now, I don't believe Joe Flacco give a fuck about this being in Cleveland. Being in Houston. Like I said, Joe Flacco. Now, in week 16, the Texans did lose 36-22 to the Browns, but CJ Stroud wasn't playing in that game, so I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't really hold. I think that's one of the games he had a concussion, so I don't really give a fuck about that game. That was the game where Amari Cooper went off for like 260-something yards and 2 touchdowns. So shout out to Amari Cooper. But that game don't hold no weight because C.J. Stroud didn't play in that game. This game in Houston, oh, man. C.J. Stroud can gain some real stripes. Boy, he can gain some real. And I saw the thing where nobody on the Pat McAfee show thought they were going to win that game. They not picking them to win that game. I actually give them a better chance now that I realize it is in Houston. I'm glad I realized that because, boy, somebody probably listening is like, bro, it's not even in Cleveland. Yeah, you are right. It is not in Cleveland. I saw somebody not really discredit DeMeco Ryans, but basically discredit DeMeco Ryans the other day. And Dan Hansis. I really don't know why I listen to Dan Hansis sometimes. I think some of his takes and some of his... It's not that he putting out just dumbass takes. I just don't like how he attack. And he might not look at it as attacking. But it's just very easy for him to try to be hypercritical of African-American players, bro, or black players. It's just it's so easy for him to do it. Unless you just playing flawlessly where there's no way he can come in and criticize you all the time. Man, he got this thing of criticizing. I understand you love C.J. Stroud, bro, but you didn't know C.J. Stroud was going to be this great coming in. And we done seen so many great, talented rookies come in and not have good coaching in front of them, and it cost them the first year. To say that you give more credit to C.J. and you basically not giving DeMeco that much credit is crazy to me. Because, and then he said, you know, if this was Bryce Young, I don't think it'd be the same. Bruh, have you seen what Bryce Young is dealing with in Cleveland? I mean, in Carolina. I'm almost at the point where if you keep comparing Bryce and C.J. Stroud off of what transpired this year, yeah, you might not know football. It's definitely evident that you're not watching these games. Because how could you get a true evaluation off of Bryce Young with the shit that he had to deal with in Carolina? And it's not me being biased. I gave the same thing for Trevor Lawrence all his first year in the league with Urban Meyer. I don't know what you expected out of Bryce Young. And then I saw somebody say, well, what they traded for him should mean that he need to come in and immediately change the organ. How? Bryce Young ain't got shit to do with everything they gave up to get him. Everything you gave up to get him don't change what's around him. Like, you know, these preconceived quotes that you feel like force you. Excuse me. I don't even know. I don't even understand how you say it at this point. Like these quotes that we use to try to justify shit like, well, they spent this much money on him, so he got to show up. Nah, my boy, it still matter what's around him, who playing with him and stuff like that. Like you can't say this dude get paid this much money, so he got to produce. Now he is no shot. Like, nah, I understand. We do need him to be great in the moments where he need to be great, but to say it's all on him, like nobody else get paid too, I told y'all, that's insanity to me. So I don't subscribe to that thought process. But now that I realize this game is in Houston, I'm still taking Cleveland to win this game. But boy, I feel a lot better about Houston. I do think this could be a far more competitive game now, because I think if it was in Cleveland, this might not have been as competitive a game because the crowd noise, the injuries that Houston dealing with right now, CJ Stroud being a rookie, that defense for Cleveland, it could have got tricky. Now that I'm realizing that it's in Houston, which was a last minute change, I think, because they won the division after the Jags lost it, basically. Realizing that now, I do believe that this will be a better. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I kind of want to take the Texans after I realized this was in Houston. For the simple reason, I understand everything I just said about Joe Flacco. Playoff Joe Flacco. Joe Cool Joe. I get all of it. However, the one thing that I cannot get out of my head at this very moment is all them interceptions that Joe Flacco been throwing. He throw them interceptions in Houston. They're not beating Houston. Houston is good enough to win. For one, Houston's defense is good enough to finish off a game in which Joe Flacco just giving the ball to the other team. So if this is one of them games where Joe Flacco just turning the ball over left and right, they're not winning this game. Houston's a good enough team to be able to withstand that. I do believe one of the biggest problems Houston will have in this game is running the ball. If they can't run this ball against Cleveland, they're not winning this game. They're not even going to have a chance at winning this game. Like if what transpired Saturday against the Colts take place tonight, against the Browns, it might be an early one, man, because you're going to have to be able to run the ball and pass the ball in order to beat this Browns defense. You cannot be one-dimensional. That's what they want to do. They want to turn you into a one-dimensional team. And I think it'll be too easy to be and plus, you don't really want to put that pressure on CJ Stroud to go out there and have to throw the ball 30-plus times to win the game against a great defense in the playoffs. You would like to remain balanced and have some type of balanced type of approach. But this is going to be a phenomenal game to watch. This is going to be a good one to watch. Tomorrow we will be back to talk about the Dolphins, the Kansas City Chiefs. With that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You could be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today. We don't know what nobody going through. We don't know the troubles and the trials and tribulations that each of us is going through. So all we can do is try our best to give each other a smile. Have a good day. And I hope it get better for you. That's all we can really do for each other at times. And that's more than enough. You know, just show people that you're thinking about them, you care about them, and that you're praying for them. That'd go a long way, man. So with that being said, tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. Saint love each and every fucking one of y'all who viewing this, man. Dead ass serious. I really do. Happy New Year. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.